Good morning everyone. This is Sumana and today's our topic is multi-enzyme complex. Under the multi-enzyme complex the example is PDH, that is pyruvate dehydrogenase, and also about the ribozyme. And what is the definition for the multi-enzyme complex? Is nothing but a multi-enzyme complex contains several copies of one or several enzymes. Enzymes are nothing but polypeptide chains which are packed into one assembly. That's why it is called multi-enzyme complex. Two or three, more than two enzymes will be together and it will do a series of reactions and packed into one assembly, that is called multi-enzyme complex. And these carries out a single or a series of biochemical reactions taking place in the cells, and it will also allows to segregate certain biochemical pathways into one place in the cell. And there are several examples of multi-enzyme complexes. Some are pyruvate dehydrogenase, fatty acid synthetase, glutamine synthetase, proteasome and Rubisco. And in your syllabus you have the pyruvate dehydrogenase under multi-enzyme complex topic. Now we'll go into detail of pyruvate dehydrogenase and PD, which is also called PDH. And this pyruvate is the main function of this enzyme is that it will convert into the pyruvate into acetyl CoA by oxidative decarboxylation. And what is the need of conversion of pyruvate into acetyl CoA is that, which is a link between the glycolysis and the TCA cycle, nothing but tricarboxylic acid cycle. So pyruvate is the end product of the glycolysis. To enter into the TCA cycle or citric acid cycle, this pyruvate should get converted into the acetyl CoA. So this conversion will be done by the multi-enzyme complex, that is pyruvate dehydrogenase, and this is an irreversible reaction which is catalyzed by the multi-enzyme complex known as pyruvate dehydrogenase complex, which is found only in the mitochondria. Because only under the levels of oxygen this will be converted into acetyl CoA, so that it will get converted into the enter into the citric acid cycle. Otherwise this pyruvate will convert into lactate in the absence of oxygen. So in the mitochondria there is availability of oxygen, so that pyruvate will be converted into the acetyl CoA. And these high activities of PDH are found in cardiac muscle and in the kidney. These are the tissues where the high activities of PDHs are found. And this enzyme, that is pyruvate dehydrogenase, requires 5 cofactors or coenzymes. What is the definition for the coenzyme or cofactor? These are the non-protein part of the enzyme, coenzyme or cofactor. Suppose if it is a organic non-protein part, it is called coenzyme. And if it is a metal ion or inorganic non-protein part, it is called cofactor. So this enzyme PDH requires 5 cofactors or coenzymes, namely TPP. TPP is nothing but thiamine pyrophosphate, which is a B1, that is thiamine, because vitamin B1 coenzyme. And other is lipoamide. This lipoamide which contains lipoic acid, which is linked to the epsilon amino group of the lysine. That's why it is called lipoamide. Lipoic acid along with the amide group of lysine is called lipoamide. And third one is FAD, flavin adenine dinucleotide, FAD, which is a coenzyme of the vitamin B2. And next one is, that is riboflavin, and the next one is coenzyme A, and the last fifth cofactor is NAD, nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide, which is the coenzyme of vitamin niacin are nothing but B5. Okay, and the reaction, the overall reaction of the pyruvate dehydrogenase enzyme is that pyruvate, see here, pyruvate which is reacting with the NAD, nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide, and the coenzyme under the action of pyruvate dehydrogenase. This pyruvate is converting into acetyl-CoA, and which is releasing CO2, that is carbon dioxide, and this NAD is getting reduced to NADH plus H. So this is the overall reaction which is done, carried by the pyruvate dehydrogenase enzyme complex. And if you see the reactions of PDH complex, see this is the structure of pyruvate, which is nothing but CH3 C double bond O COO. This pyruvate along with TPP, thiamine pyrophosphate, under this reaction with the enzyme pyruvate dehydrogenase, this CO2, the carboxylic group of the pyruvate, is released in the form of carbon dioxide. The carboxylic group of the pyruvate is released in the form of carbon dioxide with the enzyme pyruvate dehydrogenase, and this TPP is attached to this carbon groups. Here you can see. So the pyruvate is converting into hydroxyethyl TPP with the enzyme pyruvate dehydrogenase. And now this hydroxymethyl TPP along with the oxidized lipomide, why it is called oxidized means these two sulfur groups are in the bond formation, disulfide. So with the enzyme dihydrolipyl transacetylase, this TPP is removed and the lipomide is getting replaced. So this TPP is getting replaced with the lipomide, and the name is acetyl lipomide. Next, this lipomide will be replaced with the coenzyme A. Here if you see, this is coenzyme A. Now this compound name is called acetyl-CoA. Actually up to here the reaction is completed, but the oxidized lipomide is reduced so that it should get oxidized. So with the help of FAD, flavin adenine dinucleotide, with the enzyme dihydrolipyl dehydrogenase enzyme, FAD will convert into FADH2, and this reduced lipomide is getting oxidized with the help of the FAD with the enzyme dihydrolipyl dehydrogenase. And again this reduced FADH will get oxidized with the enzyme NAD, sorry, not with the enzyme, this is a molecule NAD, and this NAD will get reduced to NADH plus H. Now this NADH plus H, after entering into the electron transport chain, it will produce 3 ATP molecules. So with one molecule of pyruvate, it's getting 3 ATP molecules. And here what is now the question of multi-enzyme complex. So this pyruvate dehydrogenase consisting of 3 enzymes together, and it's converting the pyruvate into the acetyl-CoA. What are those 3 enzymes? These are 3 enzymes: pyruvate dehydrogenase, dihydroxylipyl transacetylase, and dihydrolipyl dehydrogenase. These 3 enzymes together doing the series of reactions for the conversion of the pyruvate to acetyl-CoA. So that's why this enzyme is called multi-enzyme complex. And these are the reactions whatever I have explained in the previous slide. This is the theory form that pyruvate is decarboxylated to give the hydroxylipyl TPP with the enzyme PDH. Now the dihydroxylipyl transacetylase bring about the formation of acetyl lipomide from the hydroxyethyl TPP and then catalyzes the transfer of acetyl group to coenzyme A to produce acetyl-CoA. The cycle is complete when reduced lipomide is converted to oxidized lipomide by dihydrolipyl dehydrogenase, which is transferring the reducing equivalence to the FAD. Now the FADH2 in turn transfers the reducing equivalence to NAD plus to give NADH plus H plus, which can pass through the respiratory chain to give 3 ATP molecule. So from one glucose molecules we are getting 2 pyruvate molecules. From each pyruvate it's producing 3 ATP. So from single glucose molecule 2 pyruvate, so that 6 ATPs are getting produced by the oxidative phosphorylation. And the intermediates of PDH catalyzed reaction are not free but bound with the enzyme complex. See, while occurring the reaction, all these are getting together with the enzyme complex only. It's not free. In mammals, the PDH complex has a approximate molecular weight of 9 into 10 to the power of 6. And I have already said that the pyruvate dehydrogenase complex consisting of 3 enzymes together. Those are dihydrolipyl transacetylase, pyruvate dehydrogenase and dihydrolipyl dehydrogenase. And it will consisting of 60 molecules of dihydrolipyl transacetylase and about 20 to 30 molecules of each of other 2 enzymes. Those are pyruvate dehydrogenase and dihydrolipyl dehydrogenase. And the other topic is ribozyme. Zyme here means ribo means RNA and zyme means it's acting as enzyme. That's why it is called ribozyme. RNA which is acting as enzyme is called ribozyme. Actually all the enzymes are protein in nature except ribozyme. So not only the protein molecules but also the RNA acting as the enzyme. That's why it is called ribozyme. And these ribozymes are a group of ribonucleic acids that function as biological catalyst, and they are regarded as non-protein enzymes because it's not consisting of any protein part. That's why it is called non-protein enzymes. And the scientist Altman and his co-workers in 1983 found that ribonuclease P, which is an enzyme till then known to cleave the precursors of tRNA to give tRNAs, was functional due to RNA component present in the enzyme and not the protein part of the enzyme. The ribonuclease P enzyme activities is because of the presence of RNA but not the protein part of the enzyme. And here the RNA part isolated from the ribonuclease P exhibited a true enzyme activity and also obeyed the Michaelis-Menten kinetics. This Michaelis-Menten kinetics which will show the rate of the reaction, and this ribosome is exhibiting the same Michaelis-Menten kinetics. And later studies have proved that RNA in fact can function as an enzyme and bring about the catalysis. The RNA molecules are known to adopt a tertiary structure just as in the case of the proteins, that is enzyme. See, why there is a need of tertiary structure is that for enzyme to be inactive, it requires the active site which is like a groove. So, for the formation of the active site, the structure should be in a tertiary form, that is 3-dimensional structure. In the proteins, suppose the protein enzymes, what it will do, primary, secondary and the tertiary, that is 3D structure of the protein can form the grooves. Those are active sites, that then it will be functioning. So in the same way, the RNA also, the specific conformation there is a need of the tertiary structure for the RNA molecule to function as the enzymes, because it requires the active site where the substrate comes and binds with the active site. It should be in 3D form, that is in the tertiary structure. So the specific conformation of RNA may be responsible for its function as the biocatalyst, and it is believed that ribozymes, those are RNAs, were functioning as catalyst before the occurrence of the protein enzymes during the evolution. See, during evolution, before the proteins, RNA is generated. So from the RNA, afterwards it produced the protein. So before the proteins comes into the evolution, the RNA itself acting as the enzymes. And here some list of ribosomes and their corresponding biochemical functions are given. See, the examples for ribozymes are rRNA. This ribosomal RNA, the biochemical function of this one is it will form the peptide bond during the protein synthesis. See, amino acids are the building blocks for the proteins. So between the amino acids there is a requirement of peptide bond to be together for the protein formation. So this rRNA acts as the ribozyme and it will form the peptide bond between the amino acids during the protein synthesis. The other example is RNase P. RNase P, which will cleaves the RNA molecules and it will ligate the RNA molecules together. The third example is self-splicing RNAs, which will cleaves the DNA cleavage. Self-splicing RNAs cleaves the DNA. The other example is RNase of spliceosome. Spliceosome is nothing but a complex which will splice the RNA, that is hnRNA, into the functional mRNA. So in the spliceosome, the RNA molecules acts as the ribozyme, that is enzymes, to splice the to cut the RNA molecule. And the in vitro selected RNAs, nothing but in the laboratory what are the RNAs which acts as the ribozymes are for RNA polymerization, RNA phosphorylation, RNA amino acylation, glycoside bond formation, oxidation reduction reactions, disulfide exchanges. These are the reactions which can be done in the laboratory by using the ribozymes. And the topic is recombinant ribozymes. Here recombinant means which are done in the laboratory by recombination. These now it is possible to design the recombinant ribozymes that will cleave the any RNA. So these ribozymes are now being considered as therapeutic agents to cure the diseases. See, some genetic diseases are because of mutations. If we cleave that DNA or genetic part RNA, then the disease will get cured. And theoretically, it is possible to selectively degrade faulty RNAs which are mutated or inappropriately expressed RNAs in diseases by ribozymes. See, if there is any mutation from DNA, RNA will be produced from RNA proteins. So whatever the expression of the gene, protein is the main. Suppose if there is any faulty RNA is formed, if we cut that RNA by using R ribosomes, then the mutated RNA will be deleted and it will give the functional RNA so that protein will be produced. So there is a cure for the diseases. This way specific RNAs can be eliminated from the cell that will help to inhibit the disease processes. So in this way the recombinant ribozymes can be used to cure the diseases. Those are genetic diseases by selectively degrading faulty RNAs. So this is about the recombinant ribozymes. We have covered the multi-enzyme complex. Under the multi-enzyme complex, the example is PDH, that is pyruvate dehydrogenase, and the other topic is the ribozyme. And thank you to all.